Hey y'all, welcome back to Andrea Speaks TV. I'm your host Andrea, back to bring you news and commentary you can use. Listen y'all, I thought it was fitting to come on and give you another update, yet another update on the migrant crisis here in the United States. I've been covering that topic for some time now, and I've gotten a chance to not only share information with you, but to also, I've gotten a chance to read your comments, even respond to your comments. And I think that we can all agree here in our community, here on Andrea Speaks TV, that this is a growing concern among many. Whether it is, there are some people who are very concerned about the safety and well-being of their own communities, okay? Especially those communities who are along the border, okay? Some of you all have shared that live in Texas, okay? The great state of Texas. You all have shared your experience here on the channel in the comments, and I appreciate you doing that, sharing, your firsthand experience. And then also many of you have shared from across the country, particularly in cities in New York City, in the state of New York, and other states, okay? Chicago, Illinois cities. And you all have been sharing your experience. So I really appreciate you all for that. It's a growing concern for different reasons. There are some people who are concerned about as I shared, there are some people who are concerned about the safety, well-being of their own community. Those communities who are receiving, this is what I was saying, y'all, the communities that are receiving these migrants and migrant families along the border and in other what they call sanctuary cities. Then there are some groups who are advocating for the safety, well-being of the migrants, okay? I'm not here to say that one side is right, one side is wrong. I'm just reporting the information, and I'd like to know your thoughts, okay? I have two stories that I want to talk about. I want to add on to my coverage of how some communities have already started receiving migrants and the steps they're taking to prevent buses from making unplanned, unscheduled drop-offs without first speaking to the local law enforcement, local city government officials in those particular areas. Okay, I want to talk about a community, Frankfort, Illinois. Okay, Frankfort, Illinois. They have actually issued a proclamation after there have been what they're calling attempted migrant drop-offs nearby, okay? Listen to this, y'all, okay? According to my sources, after attempted drop-offs, okay? Now, I'm sharing, you may say, well, Andrew, why are you sharing this? I'm not in Illinois. You may be in a different state, okay? I told you all I'm here in Georgia, but I want you to think about your own local community. Could this be something, right? I'm not wishing it would, but could this be something that could be coming to your own local community, okay? So think about your community as I share this information. After, okay, attempted drop-offs of migrants from Texas in nearby towns, okay, nearby Frankfort, Illinois, okay, the village of Frankfort issued a proclamation for its commitment to, and I quote, protecting the health, safety, and welfare of those living or visiting the village, okay? Now, here's a quote from the proclamation that says, and I quote, the unloading of passengers in inclement or severe weather or other unsafe conditions without a coordinated plan poses a significant threat to the health, safety, and welfare of passengers, the proclamation states, okay? Other towns have issued executive orders restricting unscheduled bus drop-offs, but the village said on its Facebook that it is limited by its non-home rule status, okay? Here's another quote from the village, and I quote, some questions have been raised regarding creating a local ordinance as some surrounding jurisdictions have to find the operators of the buses and bus companies, okay? Remember I was telling you about what they're looking into doing in the Chicago area, okay? So this community has taken some steps and is looking to take more steps as well, okay? They also said, and I quote, by state law, only home rule communities have the authority to pass these types of ordinances, okay? The village said it is continuing to work with its attorneys to explore legal means. So this is what one community is doing, okay? Now, in another article about the same community, okay, Frankfort, Illinois, They are saying that they are, and I quote, prepared, okay, after buses arrive nearby, okay? The Frankfurt Police Department is advising residents, okay? So they're actually, what I'm about to read to you is, they're actually asking their residents to take action and be on the lookout as well. Now, the Frankfurt, so again, y'all, think about your own community. The Frankfurt, Illinois Police Department is advising residents to contact police if they see a coach bus unloading passengers after several reports of bus loads of migrants from Texas attempting drop-offs in nearby towns. Okay, now the police said this has not happened, okay, in that local community of Frankfurt. It has not happened, but other municipalities have experienced buses in their towns, okay, attempting drop-offs at local train stations. Now, the mayors of New Lenox, Frankfurt, and Lockport all signed executive orders restricting drop-offs from unscheduled intercity buses, okay? The police put out this statement. We are asking for the community's assistance in notifying us should they see this occurring in Frankfurt, okay? The police department said it is working with state, county, and regional offices to address concerns and provide resources. They also said that, and I quote, we have no information that indicates this will occur in Frankfurt, but we are prepared, okay? So it sounds like Frankfurt is taking some steps. It sounds like they're being proactive in taking steps to prevent this from happening in their community. I don't know how large or small this particular community is, but they are definitely taking some steps. So I want to know your thoughts. Are they taking the right steps? Should more communities, such as where I live or you live, should our communities be taking these steps as well? Okay, I want to know your thoughts in the comments. But listen, y'all, this is really the big story, okay? Thank you so much for sticking around. Please share this video. I want to know your thoughts. Leave your thoughts in the comments, okay? Now, I have said that it seems like our country should be working, since, you know, so many individuals, men, women, and children are coming from different areas, other countries, right? It seems like our country should be working in coordination with the other countries where the migrants are coming from to find some sort of solution to this, okay? Now, I want to let you know that today, okay, which is Wednesday, a U.S. delegation is meeting, okay, with Mexico's government for talks on the surge of migrants at the border. Let's talk about this, y'all, okay? A top U.S. delegation is meeting with Mexico's president Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, December 27th, in what many see as an attempt to have Mexico do more to limit a surge of migrants reaching the U.S. southwestern border. Okay, I want to know your thoughts on this now. The Mexican president has said that he's willing to help. But listen to this, y'all. He said he's willing to help, okay, according to my sources, but he wants to see progress in U.S. relations with Cuba and Venezuela, two of what my sources say, two of the top sources of migrants, along with more development aid for the region. Now, I'm just asking the question, okay? I'm not saying he's right or wrong, but why is he putting stipulations on, well, yes, we'll help with the migrant crisis, but we got to see what the article says is progress in U.S. relations with Cuba and Venezuela, along with more development aid for the region. Is he asking for money? What does he mean by development aid? Okay, does this even sound like a solution? Knowing that, should they even be meeting? Okay, but let's keep going, y'all. I want to know your thoughts, okay? The Mexican president said, and I quote, "We have always talked about addressing the causes of migration. The ideal thing is to help poor countries." Okay, this is what he allegedly said before the meeting. Now, according to my sources, both sides in the talks face pressure to reach an agreement after past steps like limiting direct travel into Mexico or deporting some migrants failed to stop the influx. This month, okay, as many as 10,000 migrants, y'all, were arrested daily at the southwest U.S. border, okay? Now, we have been talking about this on the channel. Some of us may have seen videos or pictures. The U.S. has struggled to process thousands of migrants at the border and house them once they reach northern cities. Mexican industries were stung last week, my sources say, when the U.S. briefly closed two vital Texas railway crossings, arguing that Border Patrol agents had to be reassigned to deal with the surge. Okay, another non-rail border crossing remained closed in Lukeville, Arizona, and operations were partially suspended in San Diego and in one city in Arizona. Okay. Now, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken left open the possibility that those crossings could be reopened if Mexico provides more help. All right. Here's a quote by Secretary Blinken's office, who said, and I quote, Secretary Blinken will discuss unprecedented irregular migration in the Western Hemisphere and identify ways Mexico and the United States will address border security challenges, including actions to enable the reopening of key ports of entry across our shared border. That's according to his office, okay? Mexico says it's detected 680,000 migrants moving through the country in the first 11 months of 2023. Okay, now here's some actions that allegedly Mexico has taken, okay? My sources say Mexico has assigned over 32,000 military troops and National Guard officers, which makes up about 11% of its total forces to enforce immigration laws. And the National Guard now detains far more migrants than criminals. Now, listen, I saw a comment on the channel and I want to know your thoughts as well. Someone said that, or maybe several of you, but I know I read at least one comment that said that our military should be assisting at the border. Okay, what are your thoughts on that? And what should they, how should they offer more assistance? Okay. Now it says but the shortcomings of that approach were on display Tuesday when National Guard officers made no attempt to stop a caravan of about 6,000 migrants, many, from Central America and Venezuela, from walking through Mexico's main inland immigration inspection point in southern Chiapas state near the Guatemala border. Okay, so in this particular case, their particular National Guard in Mexico, they didn't even try to stop them. Was it because they were outnumbered? That's what I'm saying. So if you're going to send the National Guard, what specific role should they play? Because in this case, allegedly, they did nothing and they saw this caravan of 6,000 migrants coming. Okay, was it because they were outnumbered? Did they not want to use any type of force to possibly cause loss of life? Those are some things that would have to be taken into account, okay? Now, the article also says that in the past, Mexico has let such caravans go through, trusting that they would tire themselves out walking along the highway, okay? Let's see what else I would like to share. Okay, many migrants had been hopping on freight trains, okay, through Mexico. And one of the country's two major railroad companies suspended trains in September because of safety concerns. Police raids to pull migrants off railway cars. Did you all see that? I don't know if I shared it on the channel, but they were actually on the top of the cars, sitting on top of the cars as they were traveling, okay? Police raids, according to my sources, to pull migrants off railroad cars, the kind of action Mexico took a decade ago, might be one thing the American delegation would like to see, okay? A few blocks, listen to this, y'all, a few blocks from Mexico City's main plaza, where Blinken will meet with Lopez Obrador at the National Palace, migrants stayed in an improvised shelter at a church, gathering strength before continuing north, okay? They actually allegedly spoke to one migrant who was there with his two daughters and his pregnant wife. And it was said that this particular migrant, who was a male, said that he hoped to reach the United States before the child is born in about a month. The goal, he said, allegedly, is to cross over so the baby will be born there, okay? But with no asylum appointment, the article says he had no idea how the family would enter, okay? In addition to Secretary Antony Blinken, U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas and Homeland Security Advisor Leah Sherwood Randall are also attending the meeting, okay? So I want to know your thoughts. So what should the United States be demanding in this meeting, okay? Obviously, we need more border control, right? When you think about the fact that all of these people are just flooding in to our country, it is very concerning. And as I have said before, we can't assume that all of them are here to do harm, but, you know, there should be some level of security. That's why they have Border Patrol. But when it gets to the point where they're outnumbered, they're overwhelmed, more resources should be brought in. Do you feel like there should be a coordinated effort among countries, the United States, as well as the countries where these migrants are coming from? should they, what should they be providing as in terms of real solutions? Should they be working to strengthen and improve their own countries to prevent so many people from just being so willing to leave? Should they offer financial assistance to the United States? Now, it sounds like, in what I said previously, sounds like the Mexican president is expecting the United States to help these poor countries. But should those countries, now think about the time we're living in, y'all. We've talked about our current economy, inflation, high food prices. You know, the American people, for the most part, are feeling pinches in our pockets all the way around, right? We talk about quite often, and we've talked about on the channel, the need to help our own, putting America first. Not to say that other people shouldn't receive assistance, but you know, surely we can name several groups who could benefit from assistance here in the United States, right? The homeless population is increasing, okay? I'm going to talk about that in a separate video. But if we are going to help others, let us not forget about our own here in our own home country. So what do you feel like the United States delegation should request in this meeting? Do you feel like this meeting, do you feel like it's just a meeting to say they met and there's not going to be any real solutions? I want to know your thoughts, okay? We definitely need stricter border control, whether that's financial resources, more manpower, physical bodies there to assist with what's going on. And I do think that, you know, for those countries where the people are fleeing for whatever reason, you know, it is something to consider that they should look into improving what's going on in those particular countries that are causing people to leave by the thousands. Okay, maybe that could be a starting point to fix those issues there. Okay, just a thought, y'all. Not saying one side is right, one side is wrong. Just talking about possible solutions. Okay, but let me know your thoughts. Listen, thank you so much. I'm going to keep you updated on the migrant crisis. They're having this meeting as of today. Right now, I haven't gotten, I don't know if it's going to be a one-day meeting or more than one day, but as soon as I hear back from what actually became of the meeting, what was the actions that are going to be taken, I'll come back and give you all another update, okay? Stay tuned. A lot is going on with the migrant crisis. Keep in mind, these are men, women, and children, okay? I'm not telling you how to feel. I'm not saying this is the way to feel or this is not the way to feel, but you know, I'm just sharing information with you, and I like to know your thoughts, okay? Thank you all so much for your support. Take care, be blessed. Share this video. Check out my other videos where I have given coverage on the migrant crisis. Maybe you're hearing about this for the first time, and maybe you need to kind of be caught up on what's going on. I'll link those videos as well, okay? Take care, be blessed, and thanks so much for supporting me here on Andrea Speaks TV.